Good morning. You never know what you get when you come to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa. We have a bunch of pagans here. Blessed be. The Unitarian Universalist Church for 7 decades has had a presence in Tampa. The people of the Dome have been representing ideals of justice and hope and love and inquiry and all good stuff. All good stuff. In a culture that's saying we're all got to be one way, we say no, we've got to be our way. And the challenge is to have a community with independence. What does that look like? What does it mean? It means we respect one another and we cherish one another's beliefs and we give each other room. And that takes patience, it takes perseverance, but most of all, it takes love. And the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa is about that. Welcome, all of us. Some announcements. I get to do the announcements today. I'm going to mess them up real well, so y'all hold on, okay? But we've got a very, very special meeting after coffee hour over in the multipurpose room. That's the large room. We'll have 15 minutes to get our grub, and then we will convert the time and the energy into a visioning mission, visioning as a conversation. Our board president and the board will lead that to talk about what we want for benefit. Good, wonderful year with you, but I'm retiring, I'm getting married, I'm doing all the time exciting stuff, and y'all can't go with me. I'm sorry. I'd love to take you with me, but the Jeep is not big enough. And we have this Friday, we have the vegan supper, covered dish, karaoke. Come on out at 6:30 for an event that we've learned to cherish. It's a good place to integrate if you got a Friday night off. So come on out. Next Sunday, we'll do Blessing the Animals. Now, we're hoping we're getting pictures sent to the office. We're hoping we're getting pictures turned in, or we're hoping you bring pictures to put in a display. I'm not a lion tamer, nor am I a horse trainer. Now, don't laugh. The church in Huntsville had a horse last year. And I'm not sure Morris Bridge could handle a horse. It can hardly handle cars. Okay. Hope is a very vital part of our social outreach. Robert, hold up your hand. Is Jay here? Jay's not here. Robert is our representative, and we'll be convening meetings on October the 5th in the afternoon. What time is it, 3 o'clock? 3 to 4:30, October 5th, after church. Hang around, go get some food, come back. No? Oh, I'm sorry. You get to go swimming if you want to. Is that what we're saying? Christine Smith in Lutz, get in touch with the office. We'll make you, or talk to Robert. We'll make that work. Hey, Christine. Okay. Now I get to welcome you another way. In 1987, the Unitarian Universalist Association chartered the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans, CUUPS. And it took on the form of, it was inspired by the women's movement of the 2 decades before that, and gave it a system, a energy, an organization to express that spirituality to the larger UU community. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of Unitarian Universalist CUUPS groups in local congregations. The one in Huntsville, Alabama was organized in about 1987 or 89 while I was there. I was there for 15 years. And it was a very vital part of my spiritual growth, how I understood earth religions. That put me in shape to go and get more information and do more participation in Native American spirituality, which I'll be sharing with you October 12th, normally Columbus Day. But I'm going to share with you what I've learned about the Southeast Indians and the rituals that they perform and have performed for generations on generations. So CUUPS is a place for us to grow and learn, and today they're sharing with us. They are with us as a congregation. We're very proud of them, And I'm just going to be out of order and say, let's give them applause now because they deserve it. They contribute financially and with a lot of work and a lot of sweat power around this place. So that honors us and we honor them. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. We light the chalice.
Okay, now time for meditation. So place your feet firmly on the floor and close your eyes. Let's breathe deeply together. Imagine now that there are roots growing out of your feet. Feel them growing down through the floor until they find Mother Earth below us. Earth is cool and damp this time of year. Feel your roots growing into her, deep down into her, entangling with all the roots of all the people here. Now feel yourself breathing in that good, healing earth energy. With every breath in, you feel it coming up your roots, up into your feet, up into your legs and hips, up into your belly and your chest and your back, down your arms, up your neck, into your face, and out the top of your head. Feel your branches as they reach up to the sky. We all drink the same water. We all breathe the same air. We are rooted in the same earth. We all need the sun. Now, open your eyes and feel your roots still in the earth, still entangled with the roots of everyone here. And know that for today, we are gathered in community. We are a circle.
Good morning. Today, we will be representing the Pagan Wheel of the Year with its 8 spokes, the 4 major agricultural and pastoral festivals, and the 4 minor solar festivals of the solstices and the equinoxes. In the ages when people work more closely with nature, just to survive, the numinous power of this pattern had supreme recognition. Rituals and festivals evolved to channel those transformations for the good of the community toward a good sowing, harvest, bountiful herds, and hunting.
It is not just the cycle of seasons, but it is a metaphor for life itself. The Wheel of the Year can be seen as a metaphor for the cycle of a single life, from birth to death. It also serves to remind us of our connection to the rest of the natural world. This cycle is interwoven with the lives of all beings. It is a kind of spiritual dance in the interdependent web of life, of which we are all a part. Let us begin with Yule, the winter solstice.
Yule marks the end of the Holokeen's reign, the end of the dark reign, the beginning of the light. The Oak King comes into its power, and the goddess is heavy with child, about to give birth during the height of Yule, June 21st, give or take a day, depending on the calendar. During Yule, we celebrate with bringing in greenery that is still flourishing in the woods. Holly, evergreens, pine cones, and whatever food we have stored throughout the winter.
As the wheel turns to Imbolc, we welcome the first gentle stirrings of spring beneath winter's surface. Celebrated around February 1st, Imbolc marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. The word comes from Old Irish, meaning in the belly, a nod to the ewe's milk, and the first signs of life returning to the land, a time of hope and renewal. Imbolc is dedicated to Bridget, the goddess of hearth, healing, and inspiration. Her spirit is honored in the warmth of every candle, the blessing of every home, and the creative spark that stirs within us. As Christianity spread, Bridget was revered as Saint Bridget, and her feast day, February 1st, remains a celebration of her enduring presence. Traditionally, Imbolc is celebrated with candles to welcome back the sun, Bridget's crosses woven from reeds or straw for protection, and bowls of water for blessing and purification. Homes and altars are dedicated in white, gold, and green, symbols of purity, sunlight, and growth. Fresh linens, simple floral arrangements, and bundles of rosemary or lavender bring a sense of renewal, while dairy foods, breads, or seeds honor the nurturing energy of the season. Imbolc is also an invitation to self-care. After the bustle of the winter holidays, it's a time to rest, reflect, and set intentions for the season ahead. Lighting a candle with a personal intention, journaling hopes for spring, taking a cleansing bath, or simply sitting in quiet gratitude. These are all acts of renewal that honor both tradition and our own well-being. May Imbolc bring you gentle renewal, the warmth of Bridget's flame, and the inspiration to nurture new beginnings in your life. May your home be blessed.
First Sunday after Paschal moon, which is the full moon that comes after Ostara, or the spring equinox. The spring equinox is Ostara. Equal day, equal night, and the sun rising most directly in the east, a time of renewal celebrated throughout the millennia. The goddess of spring and dawn, Ostara in the Germanic and Yostre in the Anglo-Saxon, is the goddess of new beginnings, fertility, and growth. The imagery of this mark on the wheel is filled with blooming flowers, rabbits, and eggs. The Sabbat is a sacred festival marking the arrival of spring and honoring the cycle of life. Rituals begin in the east, and our altar is covered with imagery which inspires our hopes and dreams for the season. Workings inspire creativity and bring fresh energies for the beginning of projects long anticipated while replenishing our spirits. On a fun note, one myth associated with this celebration that has inspired many folk traditions shares that once upon a time, the goddess of spring awakened late, causing spring to be late. And upon walking in the forest, she found a dying bird whose wings had frozen in the snow. Feeling great sorrow, she transformed the bird into a hare so that he would be warm in the winter and able to escape predators. Being originally a bird, this hare retained the ability to lay eggs and did so out of gratitude to the goddess for saving his life. Toward the end of the hare's life, the goddess cast the hare into the night sky as the constellation Lepus at the foot of Orion. However, the goddess does allow the hare to return to earth each year during the spring to deliver colorful eggs to all the children. May Ostara bring you joy and new beginnings, the laughter of your childhood, fertile fields to nourish your body, and the unbridled creativity that frees your spirit to take flight. So mote it be.
Next holiday we come up to is Beltane. If anyone here of a certain age might remember an old holiday that used to be celebrated all throughout America, May Day on May 1st, that was originally a Celtic tradition of Beltane. And it differed wherever you were, but Beltane mainly was a purification ritual. It was a major holiday between Ostara and Litha. What you would do is you would set bonfires, you would jump over the bonfires to purify yourself. There was a lot of feasting. You would have a maypole, and typically women would and girls would take the ribbons of the maypole, go around the maypole and weave around it. Also during this time, farmers would, in Ireland and Celtic areas, run cattle through two bonfires or around a bonfire to represent purification. It's a highly purification ritual, and it's about the changing of the year. We go from spring equinox, Astara, and it's right before summer. This is when the seasons are changing. We're going from spring to summer, growth, purification, rebirth, and so mote it be.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
As the wheel turns to the height of summer, we arrive at Litha, the summer solstice, typically celebrated between the 20th and the 22nd of June in the Northern Hemisphere. We hold a celebration of a harvest for the longest day of the year. There are many different ways to celebrate the summer solstice, but all of them revolve around giving thanks to the sun, because it provides us light, and without light, there is no life. And it helps to grow our crops, which we harvest, and then they fill our bellies, so we can continue to live. And it keeps us warm while we frolic outside in the summer, in the heat with the people that we love, making wonderful memories. On the altar in front of us here, I have seashells to represent the epitome of summer, the beach and sand. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm gonna walk back around. And then I have summer flowers, the sunflowers and a few others. They represent the growth in nature, and they look like the sun. They're very orange. They look like the sun. They're very orange and yellow and bright and large. And then summer fruits that are dried in the heat of the sun, oranges and such. And then I have last solar water, which in my case is tea. I don't know if any of you remember making tea out in the sun. So when we make moon water, we put vases of water or vessels out in the moonlight, and it can harness the energy from the moon as it just sits all night. But if you want to make tea, you can do the same with solar water and harness the energy of the sun and get all of your good intentions and wonderful things into a vat of tea that you can then drink. And the summer solstice is a time for summer passion, romance, lust, and love, for hand fasting, bonfires, and festivals full of music and laughter that carry on late into the night. We dance, we break bread, and we pass down stories, hushed tales of mystical fae and other creatures and spirits that come out and dance with us among the cackling backdrop of the ember flames. It is believed to be a time of a thinning of the veil, since it is a solstice, and that's when these creatures can come out and play, fun little tricks on people. It led to a phenomena called the Midsummer Madness, which, Other folklore include the one of the Holly King and the Oak King. It's a mighty long battle of the Oak King fighting to keep the light alive, while the Holly King was the embodiment of the cold and winter that was encroaching. And the Holly King always won the battle, and the Oak King would have to go to sleep for a while. But he would always come back as the wheel continued to turn.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
As summer warms into its prime, the earth bears the fruit of its labor, and nature's bounty is ready for harvest. The wheel continues the cycle of the season, and this moment is marked by Luna Shah, a traditional Celtic festival that celebrates the first harvest. Luna Shah is a time for both gratitude for the season's abundance and appreciation for the approaching autumn. Lunashaw is rooted deeply in Celtic history of mythology. Lunashaw falls between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. Traditionally, it is celebrated on August 1st. It marks the beginning of the harvest season, specifically reaping the first fruits, the grain crops, such as wheat, barley, oats, and corn, which you can see on the altar there. The first festivals of the hard work of the farming communities and the first tangible rewards of their labor. Lunashaw is derived from the Celtic god Lu, a master of many skills, including agriculture. This is a time to honor Lu for his gifts of abundance, fertility, and craftsmanship. It symbolizes the union of earth and the sun, as well as the importance of community and gratitude for all that nature provides. One of the most touching legends associated with Lunashaw is the story of his foster mother, goddess Taltu, who died from exhaustion after clearing the fields of Ireland to make way for agriculture. The festival of Lunashaw was created in her memory, transferring her sacrifice into a time of celebration, games, and fasting. And the wheel continues to turn. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
The wheel comes to the final stop of the year for, sorry, I didn't realize. I was laughing.
We're awake.
Perfect.
Okay. The wheel comes to the final stop of the year at Mabon. Mabon begins the season of autumn where leaves die and nature, after giving forth an abundance of new life-giving foods, withers, so that the cycle may begin again. Mabon is another time when both day and night are of equal length. This marks the last day before the days become shorter than the nights, thus the descent into dark times. This is the second harvest festival, and preparations begin for the coming of the final harvest and winter. The god continues to wane, and the goddess grows bigger with child. Harvest festivals are held at this time, thanking the goddess for giving us enough sustenance to feed through the winter. This holiday, I have to hold it, is also called Pagan Thanksgiving. Harvest festivals of many types still occur today in farming country, and Thanksgiving is an echo of those ancient practices. This is a time of year to think about death and prepare for it as the plant community dies so that the human community may live. The dying nature is associated with the dying sun god. We measure the fruits of our labor and celebrate the bounty of the harvest as we brace for the coming cold. Although Mabon is the final Sabbath for the year, it is not the end of the wheel, for the wheel continues to turn and we return to where we began, ready to follow the wheel again in the coming year. So mote it be.
And the wheel turns. Samhain, which is depicted here with skulls and Day of the Dead, is an ancient Celtic festival, the Celtic New Year, celebrating the end of the harvest and the start of the winter. A lot of people believe that it is also when the barrier between the land of the living and the land of the dead is the thinnest, where the souls and the spirits of those who've passed on before us can come and visit us. In Mexico, they do such a thing called an ofrenda, where they will set up an altar and put pictures and items of those loved ones who've passed on so they can make the journey over the Rainbow Bridge to visit them. It's also said that if you don't put a picture on the altar or on the ofrenda, then that soul, that spirit can't come to visit you. So I guess, you know, you can pick and choose who you want to visit with. Just saying. I personally like to set up my Samhain altar in the Day of the Dead type theme because of the vibrant colors that go along with it, the reds and the pinks, and it not only celebrates death, but for me it also celebrates life because it is a new beginning. For us pagans, for a lot of us pagans, October 31st is not only Halloween, but it symbolizes our new year, a new beginning. Regular people, muggles, if you will, celebrate December 31st as New Year to start off. Most of us, October 31st is our new year. Samhain is parallel to Beltane, which makes both of these, what do you call it? New thought. During Samhain, the veil is thinnest. During Beltane, the veil is thin also. So your family members can come and cross over and visit because these two sabbats are not the most important, but the most viable for your ancestors to come and visit. It predates Christianity. You okay? Okay. All right. I guess that's, I'm sorry, brain farts. If you give me a minute, I'll get to my notes right quick, because I had more to say about this. Okay. So, yeah, very important. It also marked the beginning of the colder, darker winter months, which was significant and sometimes a scary time, because if you didn't get out there and harvest your crops the first 3 times, Mabon, Lunasa, and Imbolc, yeah, then you wouldn't have enough food to get you or your family through the winters. And some ways that people stayed safe and welcoming was bonfires. So a lot of people built bonfires to welcome friendly spirits and to scare away the evil ones. A lot of people believe that if you wear costumes, it's to avoid being recognized by potentially dangerous spirits. So that's why people wore costumes, and this is one of the reasons why Halloween came to play. Offerings, they would set at the table a place for the spirits of their ancestors and left them treats at their doorsteps to welcome them into the home. So there are all kinds of ways that you can celebrate Samhain, our New Year's Eve. A lot of people also call it All Hallows Eve, which is then shortened to Halloween. And I guess that's it. And so that is the end of our Wheel of the Year. Thank you. Thank you all. You guys are great. You guys rocked. Thank you. The Wheel of the Year is an awesome spectacle repeated in the pattern of the changing seasons that touches our lives even today. In many cultures, or in many early cultures, spring, summer, and fall were the busy times of the year. There was food to gather and store, crops to plant and harvest, and herbs to tend to. As the wheel turns, we are close to the pagan New Year. Time to slow down and think about the winter, and all these tasks were done. There were no more gathering or harvesting to do, and the herbs have been thinned. Thus, winter became the time for ritual and introspection. During this time of the year, we are waiting for the coming of the winter solstice, the returning of the sun god, and the lengthening of the days. It is a good time for inner thoughts, introspection, and reflection. May the glory of the passing away of autumn May the glory of the passing away of autumn lie about us, fresh gold for a time, and when the dark comes and the cold, may we remember how today we stand in glory, how we walk in bounty, heaped upon the earth's dark carpet, flung against night winter curtain. We are thankful for its coming and its passing.